Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie Buchanan.
I'm Robinson Miles. Now, for our first headline for our news portion today, we are seeing a rise in Cyclospora cases here in the tri-state. Indiana has almost 400 cases, and Kentucky has nearly 200 reported. One local Evansville restaurant owner says this is one of the most severe outbreaks he's seen in decades, but parasite or not, his level of precaution stays the same year-round.
He says restaurants should always carefully wash their produce up to the health department standards. He hopes that customers aren't scared of going out to eat and still go out to support their local businesses. This is a story our Emma Beck has been covering today, so she spoke with a local restaurant about those different precautions they're taking. She'll have those details tonight on 14 News.
Well, moving over to Henderson, it was a busy morning for the staff at Audubon Dental. The clinic hosted its 29th free dental care day. Starting at 7:30, the first 50 patients in line received treatments, including cleanings, fillings, and extractions at no cost.
Yeah, you can see there was quite a crowd there. The Care Day remains the only event of its kind offering free dental services in the tri-state area. Audubon Dental says Care Day is meant to just help families facing ongoing financial and healthcare challenges access quality dental care. So a very cool event there, and seemed like a very great turnout.
Oh, yeah. Well, another very summary thing we have to cover before we wrap things up today. Looking ahead, the Vanderbilt County 4-H Fair will get underway on Monday. The annual fair returns for 2026 with a full schedule of shows, music, rides, races, pageants, contests, exhibits, and food, just to name a few. Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office says about 45,000 people are expected to attend the fair this year, and Sheriff Noah Robinson is stressing the importance of safety.
Oh, yeah. He is reminding drivers to just watch out for their speed, be on the lookout for pedestrians. Of course, there's going to be lots of people out there. Also, be careful around farm machinery and livestock and all of those rides and large pieces of equipment. It's also going to be really hot, so those fairgoers need to be reminded to stay hydrated, be cautious when they're standing in direct sunlight for extended periods of time. The Vanderbilt County Fair is one of my favorites. It's a good one. I love them all. I'm a big county fair girl, but this one's great. Super fun.
Of course, easy pivot here. It's hot everywhere,
it is.
not just in Vanderbilt County. So we're going to go ahead and hand it off to someone who knows a lot more about that than the two of us do. But, of course, there's a lot more happening around the tri-state. So be sure to circle back for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
All right, do not go anywhere. Meteorologist Arden Gregory has a check at your 14 First Alert forecast right after this break.
Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory, and I just realized I don't have the Facebook video pulled up. So let me do that real quick so that I can see your comments in case anybody has a question as we go along. We do have a new First Alert weather day on the board. Byron Douglas added this one for Saturday. We've got a couple different things happening Saturday. Saturday afternoon is going to be one of the hotter and more humid, if not the most hot and humid day we've had so far this week. I mean, it's been steamy all week long, but Saturday, I think we'll have widespread heat index values in the low triple digits. And some of you could even get right around or maybe even just above that danger zone of 105 for the heat index. Then we've got a cold front that's going to approach the tri-state and then kind of slide off just as it gets to our north. So it's not really going to bring us much relief from the heat or the humidity, but it is going to push a few scattered showers and storms our way, mainly Saturday night. And with that, we could see some heavy rain or maybe an isolated damaging wind gust. So it's not a, I keep stepping on my mic cord. Thank goodness it's Friday, y'all. So it's not a major threat here. We're not expecting widespread severe weather of any kind. Those storms may not even make it here. But we did add this first alert weather day just to draw your attention to Saturday's weather. It's going to be slightly different from the pattern we've been stuck in for the past couple of days. And there is that isolated chance for a severe thunderstorm. Now, we've had some pop-up showers and storms here this afternoon. These started around 11 a.m. or so. They just started to pop up. Some of them have very briefly produced lightning and then kind of rained themselves back out. The only one that we have producing lightning in the tri-state right now was northern Spencer into southern Du Bois County there right along I-64, but it looks like we've got a little lightning just south of Fairfield and Wayne County and a little more lightning down in Muhlenberg County as well. So again, this rain is very isolated. Many of you are dry right now and may stay that way all evening, but there's also that possibility you could get caught under an isolated shower or even a thunderstorm as we go through the rest of this afternoon and evening. These storms are not moving very quickly, so if a storm does pop up over your location, you might just have to wait for it to rain itself out. It's not going to move on very quickly. So that's where there is this very low level risk of some flooding today, just because if a storm does pop up and starts producing heavy rain, you may have heavy rain in that one location for a while until the storm either runs out of juice or very slowly starts to move on. As for tonight, that rain will start to become more isolated once the sun goes down, and then we pretty much dry things out by about midnight, but I'm not totally convinced we'll stay that way. Some of the models are indicating we could see another very isolated chance of rain late tonight and early tomorrow morning. We're talking 3 to 5 a.m. 3 to 5 a.m. on a Saturday is not a very impactful time. So even if we do get a stray sprinkle, I doubt much of anyone would notice at that time of day on a Saturday especially. Saturday will be mostly sunny through the morning hours and dry too. It's going to be hot though. Then as we get into Saturday afternoon, we've got this very isolated chance of a stray shower or storm popping up, but it looks very, very isolated. I think many of us will stay dry through the entire day on Saturday. Then we get to Saturday night and this cold front starts to come in from the north. You can see it right on the northern edge of this map here where we've got this rain that starts to come in Saturday night. That rain is expected to move into the tri-state sometime after midnight Saturday night, but it's going to be weakening as it approaches us. So a lot of the models show those thunderstorms basically falling apart almost as soon as they cross into the tri-state. These storms may not ever make it to us at all, or they may make it, but just for the northern counties there, it kind of starts to fall apart as it moves farther south. So this is a very isolated risk of a strong to severe storm Saturday night. As that front continues to kind of slide off to the east, we could still see a stray shower here locally through Sunday morning, but many of us will probably stay dry. As we get into the heat of the day, these showers and storms will start to regain their energy, but by that point they'll already be pushing to our south. So we could maybe have a stray shower, especially in western Kentucky up through about lunchtime, but really as we push into the afternoon, that rain will move south of the tri-state, and Sunday afternoon is looking mostly sunny. As for our threat of thunderstorms, we are outlooked for general run-of-the-mill storms today. Like I said, these thunderstorms are very isolated and not moving very quickly, so you may see some lightning, which is very dangerous if you are outside near that thunderstorm. And you could also see pockets of heavy rain, and again, with those storms not moving very quickly, if it rains over one place for a while, that's where you could get a flooding threat. Tomorrow we have this level 1 risk for an isolated strong to severe storm, mainly on the northeastern half of the tri-state there, because again, as these storms are pushing in, they are expected to weaken out. So I'm not sure how how far into the tri-state those storms are really going to make it. But if they can hold together, they would pose a potential damaging wind threat. And damaging wind is the only thing we're outlooked for, by the way. Then by Sunday, we still have that chance of an isolated shower or storm in the morning. Then those storm chances push off to our south as we get into the afternoon and evening. Here's the breakdown of the individual threats on Saturday. Again, not real worried about flooding. These storms will be moving a little faster than the ones we're seeing out there this afternoon. Not particularly concerned about hail or tornadoes with this event. This is just an isolated chance that as these storms are pushing in Saturday night, if they can hold together, we could maybe get an isolated damaging wind gust. So again, a very kind of low level alert day, but still we have added it just to draw your attention to that potential for some impactful weather on Saturday night. Let's talk temperatures here for a minute because it is hot out there. We are currently sitting in the upper 80s to low 90s in most locations. Newburgh just had a little shower move through there, so it's 83. That kind of briefly cooled you off, but on a day like today when that rain moves out, it's one of those situations where then the pavement kind of starts to steam and it heats right back up. So I wouldn't expect that cool down to last very long, Newburgh. Evansville and Henderson are both sitting at 90 degrees even right now. It's not just hot, it's also very humid. So when you factor that in, we do have heat index values in the upper 90s and then even low triple digits in most locations. Evansville and Henderson both in the triple digits. Evansville with a heat index of 103. Henderson feeling like 104, and Mount Vernon right at that danger point of 105 right now. So do be very cautious if you are headed out to a county fair this evening. Through the next couple of hours, it is going to be very hot, very humid, and maybe even right at the cusp of dangerously hot. So make sure you're drinking lots of water and doing your best to stay cool. There is that isolated chance you could get caught under a shower or maybe even a thunderstorm. If you hear thunder, you need to stop what you're doing and move inside, even if it's not raining yet, even if the storm has not reached you, even if it never reaches you. Maybe it passes just to your east or your west. If you're close enough to hear that thunder, that means you're also close enough to get struck by the lightning. Lightning can sometimes strike 10 miles away from the actual storm. So please keep that in mind if you are going to be outside this evening, as a lot of folks will be. Things like, Friday after 5 and the county fairs and whatnot. If there's lightning and thunder in the area, you need to move indoors and seek some shelter there. If you get a little rain, though, at least it would help cool you off. It's going to be pretty steamy here through the next couple of hours, but then we will start to fall back through the 80s overnight tonight. The rain chances taper off pretty early in the night tonight, but again, we could maybe still catch a stray shower even into as early as 3, 4, 5 a.m. tomorrow. It will be partly cloudy overnight with lows in the low to mid 70s. Then tomorrow, hot and humid, a lot like today. We're looking at highs in the low to maybe even mid 90s in some locations on Saturday, and that heat index could get up around 105, which again is dangerously hot. So that is part one of the reason for the alert day. We are not under a heat advisory, but there is one just to our west. I mean, they brought it right up to the tri-state and stopped. So we're right at the cusp there of being into that dangerous heat zone. So be aware of that on Saturday afternoon. I really think most of the day will probably be dry. An isolated shower or storm certainly possible, but most of the rain and storms on Saturday night and the threat for any severe weather is focused primarily on Saturday night. There will be a very slight cool down Sunday, Monday, but we're still pretty steamy. I'm getting kind of typical mid-July weather, upper 80s to low 90s there. Maybe a stray shower, but both days look mainly dry. Then we get into Tuesday, and notice this big drop in our temperatures from Tuesday to Wednesday. Tuesday is kind of the next big thing we're tracking. Once we get through the active weather today and tomorrow, the focus will really turn to Tuesday. Tuesday, first of all, is going to be very hot. We're looking at highs in the low to maybe even mid 90s. Heat index could get as high as 105 to maybe even 110. We could potentially be in heat advisory criteria on Tuesday. Then then you've got a cold front coming in. And so let's talk about what that could bring for us. Tuesday is going to start out dry, but then as this cold front pushes in from the northwest, it could kick up showers, maybe even some thunderstorms. The models have been very inconsistent on the timing and the amounts on this. So this, for example, is showing thunderstorms right in the middle of the day Tuesday, with more rain and thunderstorms possible Tuesday evening as that cold front actually passes through the tri-state. I will tell you though, there are other weather models that keep us almost completely dry on Tuesday. So it's really uncertain exactly how this is going to play out, but there is at least that potential for 1 or maybe even 2 rounds of rain and thunderstorms Tuesday. Then that cold front pushes off to the southeast, will dry things out by Wednesday, but then we've got cooler air flowing in from the north. As for that risk of thunderstorms on Tuesday, we are right at the edge of an area outlooked as having a 15% chance of severe storms on Tuesday. So it looks like most of the action will probably be more to our east-northeast. I'd say places like Cincinnati stretching over to about Louisville would be much more concerning there. Here, we're right on the edge. I'm not sure how much in the way of storms or severe weather we'll actually see on Tuesday. There's still a lot of uncertainty, but this is your heads up that Tuesday is a day that we're watching very closely, as we could have kind of what we're seeing Saturday and then some, where we could end up on alert Tuesday for dangerous heat, along with the potential for some isolated severe thunderstorms as that cold front pushes through. Once that cold front moves out, I forgot to move that. That's supposed to be on Saturday. Once that cold front moves out on Tuesday, much cooler, drier, more comfortable air takes over for the middle and end of next week. Low to mid 80s and mostly sunny skies for July in the tri-state. That is about as good as it gets, but it does come with a little asterisk, right? A little caveat here. I mentioned the reason we're seeing this cool down is because once that cold front passes through, our wind direction will change and we'll start pulling cooler, drier air down from the north. Guess what is also in the air to our north right now? A lot of wildfire smoke. You've probably been seeing that on the news across the Great Lakes. They are dealing with some really hazardous air quality, as there is so much smoke and ash in the air right now being blown down from more than 100 out of control wildfires in Canada right now. We are not expecting them to get all of those fires put out over the next 4 days. So if this is still happening by Wednesday and our wind direction changes, yes, we will have cooler, drier, more comfortable air. We get a break from the rain chances, the heat, the humidity, everything we're sick of after this week. But we'll also be watching very closely for, at the very least, maybe a hazy look to the skies. If it mixes down close enough to the surface, maybe even an air quality alert headed our way on Wednesday. So we will keep a very close eye on that for you. Let's check in on the comments here. Good afternoon, Laura, Cheyenne, Jeff. Okay, Zach is talking about a severe weather and tornado outbreak on Tuesday. I am not buying into that. I do think we could see some thunderstorms, and I wouldn't rule out the potential for some severe thunderstorms as that cold front moves through on Tuesday. I mean, it's going to drop us about 10 degrees, so it's clearly bringing some force behind it there. But no, I would not describe that as a widespread severe weather outbreak, or certainly I wouldn't start throwing around the term tornado outbreak when there's still so much uncertainty left in the forecast. So if you're following a social media page that is using terms like that, I would say that, at least for me personally, I would describe that as hype. This is somebody who is looking for clicks and probably getting them. But I don't know that I would describe that as a responsible and reliable source for your forecast at this point. And Sari is asking about rain during the day, Saturday and Sunday. I will tell you, both days are looking mostly dry. You could catch an isolated shower or storm, mainly Saturday afternoon and evening. It's going to be a very spotty chance. Odds are you'll stay dry, but a handful of folks will get some rain Saturday afternoon and evening. The better chance for rain is overnight Saturday night, and then a few spotty showers linger into Sunday, mainly in the morning. But again, it'll be very, very isolated. So I think both Saturday and Sunday look mostly dry, but just don't be shocked if you get a stray shower there Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. But if we're going to see any rain this weekend, it would most likely be overnight Saturday night. I hope that answers your question, Sari. And Dana asking about the forecast this weekend too. So I hope I covered my bases on that. I am concerned about the heat on Saturday. Don't let that catch you off guard. It is going to be a little hotter and just as humid as it is out there today. So our heat index could be flirting into that danger zone on Saturday. It is going to be very steamy out there. And I'm concerned about the heat on Tuesday as well. I think we could see a heat index as high as 105 to maybe even 110 in some places on Tuesday, with those highs climbing into the mid 90s. Then when we've got that cold front that may potentially bring us some severe weather on Tuesday, and then as that moves out, again, we've got that cooler, drier weather taking over for the second half of next week, but that could potentially also come with a little wildfire smoke. We'll have to monitor that very closely. The extended outlook for next weekend and into the following week, so we're looking ahead to the end of July at this point, does show a trend toward near to maybe slightly above average precipitation. So that cool, dry air that is going to move in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's obviously not going to stick around forever. So it gets a little more humid with better chances for rain as we get into next weekend and into the following week. As for our temperatures, expecting some pretty intense heat across the plain states there, but it does seem like that heat kind of tapers off as you head our way. So it may be hot, but I think probably more just like typical late July hot. Nothing that I'm concerned about at this point. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll have your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and I'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9. We will have new data, new model data between now and 9 p.m., so please tune back in then if you're concerned about these rain and thunderstorm chances. As you know, every couple of hours we get new data here. The forecast can always change, and so we'll keep a close eye on it for you. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Everybody have a great rest of your Friday.